Revelation 18. Then I saw another angel descending from heaven, possessing great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his radiance and splendor. And he shouted with a mighty voice, "She is fallen, mighty Babylon is fallen. She has become a resort and dwelling place for the demons, a dungeon haunted by every loathsome spirit, an abode for every filthy and detestable bird. For all nations have drunk the wine of her passionate unchastity, and the rulers and leaders of the earth have joined with her in committing fornication, idolatry, and the businessmen of the earth have become rich with the wealth of her excessive luxury and wantonness." Then I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out from her, among her, my people, so that you may not share in her sins, neither participate in her plagues. For iniquities, her crimes, and transgressions are piled up as high as heaven. And God has remembered her wickedness and her crimes and calls them up for settlement. Repay to her what she herself has paid to others, and double her doom in accordance with what she has done. Mix a double portion for her in the cup of the she mixed for others. To the degree that she glorified herself and reveled in her wantonness, living deliciously and luxuriously, to that measure impose on her torment and anguish and tears and mourning, since in her heart she boasts, "I'm not a widow. As a queen on the throne I sit, and I shall never see suffering or experience sorrow." So shall her plagues, afflictions, calamities come thick upon her in a single day, pestilence and anguish and sorrow and famine, and she shall be utterly consumed, burned up with fire, for mighty is the Lord God who judges her. And the rulers and leaders of the earth who joined her in her immorality, idolatry, and luxuriated with her will weep and beat their breasts and lament over her when they see the smoke of her conflagration. They will stand a long way off in terror of her torment, and they will cry, "Woe and alas, the great city, the mighty city, Babylon, in one single hour, how your doom, judgment has overtaken you. And earth's businessmen will weep and grieve over her, because no one buys her freight cargo anymore. And their merchandise is of gold, silver, precious stones, and pearls, of fine linen, purple silk, scarlet stuffs, all kinds of scented wood, all sorts of articles of ivory, all varieties of objects, costly woods, bronze, iron, and marble, cinnamon, spices, incense, ointment, perfume, frankincense, of wine, of olive oil, fine flour, wheat, of cattle and sheep and horses, and conveyances of slaves, the bodies and souls of men, the ripe fruits and delicacies for which your soul longed have gone from you, and all your luxuries and dainties, your elegance and splendor are lost to you and never again to be recovered or experienced. The dealers who handled these articles, who grew wealthy through their business with her, will stand a long way off in terror of her doom and torment, weeping and grieving aloud and saying, "Alas, alas, for the great city that was robed in fine linen, in purple and scarlet, bedecked and glittering in gold, with precious stones, and with pearls, because in one single hour all the vast wealth has been destroyed, wiped out, and all the ship captains and pilots, navigators, and all those who live by seafaring, the crews and all who ply their trade on the sea stood a long way off and exclaimed as they watched the smoke of her burning, 'What city could be compared to this great city?' They threw dust on their heads, and they wept and grieved, exclaiming, Woe and alas for the great city, where all who had ships on the sea grew rich through her extravagance from her great wealth. In one single hour she's been destroyed, has become a desert. Rejoice, celebrate over her, O heaven, O saints, people of God, and apostles and prophets, because God has executed vengeance for you upon her. Then a single powerful angel took up a boulder like a great millstone and flung it into the sea, crying with such violence that Babylon, the great city, be hurled down to destruction and shall never again be found. And the sound of harpists and minstrels and flute players and trumpeters shall never again be heard in you. No skilled artisan of any craft shall ever again be found in you. And the sound of the millstone shall never again be heard in you. And never again shall the light of a lamp shine in you, and the voice of the bridegroom and bride shall never be heard in you again. For your businessmen were the great and prominent men of the earth, and by your magic spells and poisonous charm, all nations were led astray, seduced, and deluded. And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all those who have been slain, slaughtered on earth.